For the average person who earns $1,000 or $5,000 every month, the best way to use your income is to always pay your taxes, save for the rainy days, and try not to have so many kids. However, for these rappers who earn millions of dollars from just one song, the best way is to spend it all. After all, there is more somewhere, right? Well, after spending millions of dollars on ridiculous things and forgetting to do what's important, these rappers got a jolt of reality, and it dawned on them that it doesn't matter how huge your income is, you can always go broke. So here are 9 rappers who got broke for the dumbest reasons. The last one refused to stay broke and is back on top, so make sure you watch till the end. The first on this list is DMX, who in 1998 became the second rapper since Tupac to have 2 #1 singles in the same year. That was a great achievement, but the fame must have gotten into his head because, in the same year, he was charged with felony weapons possession, and the following year he was arrested over a dozen times for crimes ranging from cocaine possession to reckless driving to criminal impersonation. And to top it all, his finances were a mess. While he made millions and millions of dollars from his iconic songs, DMX couldn't manage his finances as he spent it all on maintaining his addiction to drugs, and let's not forget child support. Apparently, this guy didn't read the memo about family planning because he went on to have 17 kids from 11 women, who regularly sued him for unpaid child support. But that's not all. He owed money to a variety of different creditors, each of which was eager for settlement or repayment, and the bills piled up. To make matters worse, DMX, who once sang "X gonna give it to ya," didn't give any of it to the IRS. In fact, reports suggested that he deliberately went out of his way to evade taxes, including avoiding personal bank accounts, setting up accounts in others' names, and paying personal expenses largely in cash. All these made him file for bankruptcy 3 times, first in 2009, then in 2016, and finally in 2018. By 2018, DMX had racked up $1.7 million of unpaid child support, $950,000 in bank debt, and $1.7 million worth of tax debt, which he couldn't pay because he had 0 money in his account. He ended up spending 6 months in jail for child support, 1 year in prison for tax evasion, and was ordered to pay the government $2.29 million in restitution. Interestingly, DMX never had the chance to pay because he died in 2021, leaving his family with his financial woes. Next up is Tyga. The American rapper is certainly better when it comes to child support. However, like every other rapper, Tyga has a weakness when it comes to spending money on luxury items. Though not very popular, Tyga has had a successful career, which means that he has been raking in some cool cash. This is evident in his luxurious life. The rapper could be seen cruising around in expensive cars that increasingly he has not paid for or is behind on payment. In 2016, he was sued for falling behind on payment for a 2013 Lamborghini Aventador and a 2014 Bentley Mulsanne, both of which, including the interest, amounted to $1.3 million. In 2019, Tyga was sued again for not paying for a Ferrari and Rolls-Royce that he had purchased. Aside from having run-ins with payments for vehicles, he's also had trouble paying for other things like furniture and rent. In 2020, Tyga was she's for more than $200,000 in damages and unpaid rent for a rented property. On top of that, his girlfriend Black China accused him of missing child support, and it was reported that he had $890,000 worth of tax debt. Despite all these, Tyga still lives a lavish lifestyle. Apparently, he hasn't learned. While Tyga can still live lavishly despite his financial woes, hip-hop producer Scott Storch can't afford to do that. This guy blew $70 million in less than 3 years. Who does that? Apparently, Scott does. Scott produced some of the biggest hits in music between 1999 and 2006, working with artists including Dr. Dre, Christina Aguilera, and 50 Cent. His success raked him about $100 million in fortune. Unfortunately, while he rose to the ranks of the music world, Storch also amassed one hell of a cocaine and luxury spending habit. Storch owned a car collection that would impress Jay Leno, made up of high-end luxury cars that cost $250,000 to $700,000 apiece. The hip-hop producer once admitted that he would wake up, blow some coke, and then head straight to the car dealership, where he would drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on a whim, He claims he bought at least 10 cars while high on cocaine. He also owned a $10.5 million mansion in Miami and a $20 million yacht named Tiffany. Aside from always traveling the world in a private jet, Storch spent $250,000 every month partying. But that's not all. One time he spent a mind-boggling $30 million in a 6-month coke-fueled binge. Everything might have gone well for him, probably, if his partying and addiction didn't affect his work. At a point, he stopped working, and the money stopped coming in, but his spending did not stop. By 2009, Storch had managed to blow through his entire $100 million fortune and was forced to declare bankruptcy. The worst part is that by 2015, Storch filed a second bankruptcy where his music company was valued at $0 and his assets totaled $3,500. Similar to Scott Storch, Fat Joe was a notorious luxury spender. After the success of his 2001 album, Jealous Ones Still Envy, JOSE, and its hit single, What's Love, the money started rolling in. And like all the rappers of his time, Fat Joe got carried away. In an interview with Elliott Wilson for Tidal's CRWN series, Fat Joe revealed that he made so much money that he was withdrawing $50,000 every day to pamper himself and his Terror Squad crew, who were all driving a white Cadillac truck with TS chains on. Then one day, he got a jolt of reality when he went to the bank to withdraw as usual, and was told that there was no more money. To make matters worse, he never gave the IRS what belonged to them, choosing to owe them instead. Several times he was faced with charges of tax evasion, but he somehow managed to pay and avoid jail time. However, in 2016, he found himself in hot water with the IRS again, and this time he owed $1.1 million. This figure is little compared to what female rapper Lil Kim owed. Though not as successful as the rest of the rappers on this list, Lil Kim also had her own spending problem and a habit of not paying tax. In 2018, it was reported that Lil Kim owed the IRS over $1 million in back taxes, which is quite a lot for someone who is already in the hole. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Kim owed $2 million on her house and roughly $186,000 in unpaid legal bills. All told, she was roughly $4 million in debt. The bank later foreclosed on her mansion, and Lil Kim filed Chapter 13 bankruptcy. However, she has somehow gotten her finances back in shape, so the bankruptcy file was dismissed. Good luck to her. However, MC Hammer was not so lucky. Hammer probably thought the good times would never end. After all, his album, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em, which came out in 1990, is still one of the best-selling hip-hop albums of all time. Estimated to be worth about $33 million at the time, Hammer began to live a high life. He bought a $30 million mansion and employed 200 people on his payroll, which Time says cost $500,000 every month. But it can sometimes cost as high as $1 million every month. He had 19 thoroughbred racehorses, 2 private helicopters, a Lambo, and a private jet. Some years later, Hammer filed for bankruptcy in one of the most famous celebrity financial disasters of all time. His bankruptcy file revealed that he had hundreds of creditors, including his brother, numerous lawyers, the banks, American Express, department stores, and of course the IRS. So, he didn't just spend all his fortune, but also owed an additional $13 million. Another rapper who didn't like to pay his taxes is Ja Rule. Ja Rule dominated popular hip-hop at the turn of the 21st century when rappers were being paired with R&B singers. He took Mesmerize and Always on Time, both featuring Ashanti to the top or near the top of the pop chart, and also scored big with his raspy, explicit escapades about crime, street life, and romantic conquests, including Holla Holla, Put It On Me, and Livin' It Up. However, despite the millions of CDs and downloads he sold, he failed to pay his taxes. In 2011, the rapper reported that he had failed to pay his taxes on the $3 million he earned between 2004 and 2006, leading to a 28-month prison sentence. In 2019, he was busted again when the IRS claimed that he owed more than $2 million in back taxes. Next up is T-Pain, who at one time became so broke that he had to borrow money to pay for Burger King meals for his children. How did he get to this point? Well, After building a successful career that made him a net worth of over $40 million as of 2007, T-Pain went on a spending spree like his fellow rappers. He revealed in an interview later on that his closet rapper friends advised him that as long as he kept rapping, the money would never stop coming in. And, just like that, he began to spend so much on luxury items, including a $400,000 chain, a car worth $2.1 million, which he later sold for $800,000 in houses for his workmates, just to name a few. T-Pain revealed that he just spent his money without checking his account balance and allowed other people to manage his finances. Obviously, that was a bad move because one day his accountant told him, "You got no money left." And that was when reality set in. What do you think about these rappers? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.